All right, let's come back as a group here. Let's come back here as a group in 3, 2, 1. So, what were the two most important takeaways from the text? Anthony, I'll let your table give us one, and then we'll go to a different table.
Do I say both of them or just one?
Just give us one.
The fall of Tsar.
Elaborate on that.
So basically what I mean by the fall of Tsar is basically everything after his Nicholas's father's death, and basically the whole time that he was the ruler, how basically everything he did led to the fall of his control of the Tsar Empire, and then after would be the rise of communism.
Right, so the fall of the Romanov dynasty in what country? In Russia, due to the incompetence of, what was his name?
Nicholas II.
Yes.
I think that's what he said.
What was his title though?
Bloody.
Before his name Nicholas, what was the title? Begins with a C.
The second
Tsar, right? But the C is silent. Sometimes you'll see it with a C or a T. So Tsar Nicholas. All right, so that is definitely one main idea. The Romanov monarchy comes to an end in part because of the incompetence of Nicholas. It's Anya.
So he did do that, but he also did some good. He helped bring like the education levels and also helped women get education.
Right, so that's an important, what I would call a counterpoint. It wasn't all bad, right? He did do, or some good things happened. I'm not going to include that in, since we have to shorten it to just two main ideas, I'm not going to include that as a main idea. But that's an important counter argument. So what's the second main idea? I think Anthony was hinting at it, but I don't want to call on his group again. So I'm going to call on a new group, Kevin's group, who can give us the second thing we need to walk away with.
How Lenin's history was shrouded in it was shrouded, like it was a mystery, because
So Lenin is definitely important. I think his past is probably a little bit overly specific for a main idea. So what is a main idea we should take away about Lenin and the Bolsheviks? What's important? If you can only remember one more thing about the article, what should we know about Lenin and the Bolsheviks?
Yeah, Lenin was,
Angela.
he was the further leader of Bolsheviks and he promoted communism.
Yeah, so the Romanov monarchy comes to an end, and as Angela says, Lenin and the Bolsheviks in the Russian Revolution come to power. And Russia becomes the first country in the history of the world to go communist. Right? So this is the first communist country, and it's really important because they're an empire. The Russian Empire, called the Soviet Union, is going to be communist. Right? So for the purpose of time, instead of writing that all out, again, I'm just going to copy and paste what we had in fourth period, right? So the two main ideas of the text are that Tsar Nicholas was not effective, and so the Romanov dynasty fell. Some of the things he did that were not so good. He gets them into a war with Japan that they lose. He gets them into World War I, and people are starving. They're losing more soldiers than any other army. And when a women's protest, a women's march happens, he has the soldiers fire on the protesters, what's called Bloody Sunday. So his failures lead to the rise of communism in Russia, and Lenin and the Bolsheviks come to power. Right? So those are probably the two most important things you can take away from this article. Okay?